Well, a very good morning to you. My name's Chris. This is Felix Day Live, and we're doing something a bit different today, which is a general chat round. If you would like to join the conversation with us and have your say, you can do that on Facebook. You can do it on actually on screen. If you've got a laptop, a phone, PC, tablet, whatever you've got, all you have to do is call into the show, actually send us a message on the show or give us a comment, and we will send you a link to actually appear on the show. No cost, no problem, no issues. And you can say what you like as long as you moderate your language reasonably sensibly. I'd love to have you on the show. What are we going to talk about today? What I wanted to do was kind of look back on a couple of news items, or on a few news items. If you've got something you would like to look back on, let me know. It's very straightforward, very easy to do, no problem. And if you want to join in on the show, you're hugely welcome to do so. So, Sunday morning, time to reflect on the week. We've had an interesting week, and I'm going to have a look at a couple of things that I want to have a look at. You'll notice that I have to look at my screen from time to time, but that's just one of those things, isn't it? And we'll do that and just go back and have a little look at the story from yesterday, which I think was interesting. Don't know whether you saw it, whether you liked it, or kind of what, really. But let's see what you think about it. And there's Felix Day Live. Goodness me, I've got my system working a bit better now, I have to tell you. And we'll just go down and have a look at that story that we're talking about from yesterday. And this is the one. Now, do you remember this one? Interesting story. This is because I've got little sound on this feed as well. I don't know if you can hear it properly. Tell me if you can. But this is the drummers who were on the Extinction Rebellion and climate justice thing yesterday. Did you see it? What did you think? I'd be fascinated to know what people actually think of some of the content that we show. Because I think the reality is, let's just kill that one for the moment. Shush. Me. One of the things that's interesting with doing all these things is that you learn stuff all the time. And I like learning stuff, so I have a bit of fun doing that. Okay. So that was the Extinction Rebellion stroke climate justice march in Felixstowe on the seafront yesterday. Did you go? Did you see it? Have you seen what was said on our Facebook page? Now, at the bottom of our Facebook video report, we got a lot of kind of, I guess you'd say, straightforward negative comments. And I'm fascinated by that because I kind of think being aware of climate and stuff is something we mostly should all be. Don't know what you think, but I find it really difficult to understand why people were having, I don't know, so much trouble with it. The truth is that people did seem to be having a problem that they kind of didn't understand. Maybe, I don't know what was going on. There were people calling people names like tree huggers and so on, which I've left up for the moment. I wouldn't normally, but I wanted you to see that. And I'm not that convinced of how kind of reasonable or kind of sensible that was either. It seemed to me to be quite unpleasant and attacking. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that climate justice stroke Extinction Rebellion has a message for us or not? Do you think it's just people wasting their time? I don't know. I think whatever happens, we have to do something about the climate if we can, although my personal opinion is probably we've left it a bit too late. I don't know. What do you think? Tell me what you think. But please do be aware that we can't really let people go into calling people names like tree huggers or whatever they want to call people. I'd like to see more reasoned debate, to be honest with you. So let's have an opinion or two. What do you think? Come on, let's get some ideas and comments out there in in our world, in our little world of Felixstowe, if you like. What do you think? What do you think people should really say or be doing about climate problems? Because we know we have climate problems, don't we? And I guess we have to have a way of dealing with that. How do we deal with it? How do we actually get around it? What do we actually do? What do we do to actually have an effect on the climate? That was one story that really kind of hit me from yesterday. The other thing I wanted to mention on it, someone gave me, it's a bit, of course it's green, isn't it? There we go. Someone gave me an Extinction Rebellion leaflet. And I wanted to just look at this because I was gobsmacked, actually, to be honest with you. When I looked at the back of it, they said Extinction Rebellion has 3 demands. The government must tell the truth by declaring a climate and ecological emergency, working with other institutions to communicate the urgency for change. Well, to be honest with you, my opinion, and I don't know whether this is other people's opinion or not, is that our government very rarely tells the truth. And I think Mr. Johnson hardly ever tells the truth, but that's beside the point. I think governments in the UK have a record of not telling the truth to any great extent. What do you think? I think that's an interesting one. The government must act now to halt biodiversity loss and reduce greenhouse gas emissions to net zero by 2025. Really? That seems like an incredibly short time, 3 years away. And we get rid of all cars and diesel engines and goodness knows what else. The government must create and be led by the decisions of a citizens' assembly on climate and ecological justice. Do you think that's practical as well? I don't know. I'm fascinated by this kind of commentary from an organisation. What do you think? I'd love to hear from you. Do let me know what you think, because at the moment we've got people watching, but I don't know whether you've got any views, and I'd love to know if you've got any views. I'd love to hear from you. There you go. And don't forget, if you want to join in and actually say something, then you're hugely welcome to do that as well. Okay. I'm a bit taken aback by the fact that no one's been in touch. So give us a shout, someone. It would just be nice to feel that I'm not entirely alone. But there you go. Okay, let's just clear up something I wanted to clear up. There we go. Let's change that to that. That's better. So what do you think? What do you think on that story? Do you think it was that march was worth doing? Do you think it was bluntly a waste of time? I don't know. I have an issue about whether people really get something out of it. I don't know. What do you think? I'd love to know what you think. I'd love you to tell me what you think. So please do tell me what you're actually thinking about what we're talking about. That's the Extinction Rebellion March and the Climate Justice March from yesterday. Now I'm going to go and dump this show for a moment because, to be honest with you, I'm concerned. Oh, hey, we have got someone out there. Good Lord. Good morning, Adam. Nice to see your little voice there. There you go. Good morning, Adam Crane. I'm glad to know you're there because it's nice to know someone's there. There are a number of people watching the show, but no one's saying anything. Maybe you will disagree with me. I do not know. Okay. What else are we going to look at? Well, the other thing I wanted to look at this morning, let's just go to it. Let's just find it. This is the one that I wanted to, the other story I wanted to highlight, and we'll just go to this one. And here we go. Okay, let's just get that up on the screen when we can. I see, what doesn't it do that as I want it to? Okay, now, yesterday I was in the town centre and I was talking to a lady from an organisation called Chernobyl Children's Lifeline. And this is really about the Chernobyl. Oh, hey, thank you, Malcolm. It's nice to see you there. My goodness, I've been feeling lonely this morning. And there's a man with Jack Daniels. And can I have some, please? Now, Okay, thanks, Malcolm, for getting in touch. So yesterday I interviewed this lady from Chernobyl Children's Lifeline on the Triangle, and that was an amazing organisation because I was saying to her, one of the things that caught my attention about that was that there's an issue with things like this, isn't there? When Chernobyl happened, it was an enormous disaster. And all sorts of stuff was said for weeks and weeks in the newspapers, on TV and everything. Chernobyl, if you remember, was the meltdown of that Soviet power station. And it was a disaster. It was a catastrophe. But because it was a nuclear catastrophe, it goes on. It goes on for ages and ages, years and years. And it affects people over a huge number of years. Now, don't forget that power station is I understand, very close to the Ukraine. And therefore, at the time when it happened and since, lots of people have been affected by it, affected by radioactivity, affected by atomic, nuclear contamination. And this organisation, Chernobyl Children's Lifeline, has worked away consistently over all those years, helping the people who, helping the children and helping the people who've had problems due to the contamination. But now they're helping more people in the Ukraine. And Marion Little, I know, Marion, that you are a supporter of Chernobyl Children's Lifeline. And she says it's amazing. They now support not just the children, but their children and grandchildren. And I was also interested to learn that they're also supporting people in villages who are affected by the Russian invasion, and they're helping them as well. They've actually provided loads of supplies. They've helped to evacuate older and infirm people from the path of this dreadful Russian army that's committing all kinds of crimes over there in the Ukraine. And they're doing enormous amounts of good work, and they are an organisation to support. One of the things I'm planning to do, if we can raise a few more subscriptions and a bit more dosh from stars and things like that, is to actually support a few charities on behalf, if you like, of Felixstowe. So let's just get back to our incoming. Let's see what this one says. Oh, Kevin, thank you very much. I do my best, mate. Nice to hear from you. And Tish Croydon, Ukraine has had so many bad things happen. This charity is fantastic. Yeah, I think they are. I was really impressed, I have to tell you, Tish, when talking to that lady. I hope you saw the interview. We're just going to change the subject for a moment. Now, the last year, I was talking to, the year before last, I think, in fact, I was talking to a young man who came down here who is a shipping freak, really. He was keen, only about 16 or 17, a man called Jack Ibbotson, but he is now, in the last year, held his deck officer cadetship down at Warsash at the university there, and he's actually learning to drive big ships. I hope he can find some really interesting jobs after he finishes his degree. It'll be grand to see how he goes. I'm a big fan of young people who take their life in their hands and go out there and drive for stuff. There are so many people who go to uni and really don't have a clear idea of what they're going to do next. But Jack has always, and I think Malcolm, who's a mature student at Warsash, I think these people are driving themselves into a career that's interesting, that's full of, really the word is adventure, at sea, doing stuff that so many of us don't do. Hey, nice to hear from you, Malcolm. Okay, what else have we got? Let's clear that one away. Now, let's just go back to my other page. It takes me a moment just to identify what I'm trying to do here. Takes me a moment. Bear with me, as they say. Oh, I hate saying that, because what it actually comes from is the phrase "forbear with me." There we go. There we go. Share. if you want to do this, do you? No, you don't. My machine didn't want to do anything for the moment there. Okay, we'll just go and have a look at one more story that I wanted to talk about briefly. There we go. Let's just go down this line here. There's a lot, isn't there? One of the things that we do on Felix Day Live. Oh, I see. Okay, get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. I've got too much on my screen, folks. And we just go to this one. Oh, no. Oh, I see. I've done something silly. I'm sorry about this. I'm learning this as we go along as well. Hey. So I wanted to just go on to this one because this is something that I feel quite strongly about. And here in Felixstowe, we do have a good record. All right. We do have a good record of, excuse me, I got something wrong, but I'll come back to that in a moment. We try to have a good record of actually supporting, if you like, our military, because our military is the thing I think that comes between us and things like the Ukrainian disaster happening here and helping to prevent it happening in other countries. Our military do a huge and great job, and I'm very proud of them, both the Army and the Navy and, of course, the Royal Air Force. And all three services do a hell of a good job. And I think it's important to think back and to remember the things that they've done in the past as well. And that monument shown in the illustration on screen there is Thiepval, I think you say. And that's a huge monument in France, in the north of France, the Somme Valley, where the Battle of the Somme took place. And it's enormous, and every inch of its visible surface, if you like, that you can see, you walk up through it, is engraved with the names of thousands of men who died in that battle. And I just wanted to mention that because I feel it's so important. I don't know. I think we ought to keep remembering this, and I think we ought to do something in schools to remind kids that our civilization, our position in the world, our position in life now, if you like, is actually based on the lives of people who went before us. One of the things that happens in the world, as we all know, I think, is that we repeat the mistakes of previous generations. And if we did a bit more history, then I think we'd probably do better at avoiding some of the silly problems that happen in our world now. Going back to Malcolm. Malcolm says he's a very mature student of 46. He's at Glasgow, though, not Warsash. And I think Jack Ibbotson, I'm sorry, is also at Glasgow. So there you go. Hey, both of you, keep doing well, and I hope you find really interesting jobs at sea when you finish your qualification. Okay, now I have to tell you that this show didn't go quite as I expected or hoped, but it's part of the fun of doing live shows when we don't do enough. We're going to be doing more as we go along because I've got a better internet connection coming up shortly, I hope, which is going to help things work a bit faster. And in the meantime, we'll just kind of see how things go and do the best we can. Okay, I'm Chris. This is Felix Day Live, and we will see you soon. But first, I have to work out which button to press to get us off the screen. So let's just do that one, and we'll say thank you so much for watching, and we will see you soon.